According to the COVID rules, I'm going to read this statement first to start the meeting. This is William Prensky, Chair, excuse me, Chair of the West Hartford Board of Assessors, and I'd like to welcome you to the virtual September 9, 2021 meeting of the board. Because in-person attendance at public meetings is likely to increase the risk of transmission of COVID-19, this hearing is being conducted virtually in accordance with Governor Lamont's public health emergency and civil preparedness orders. Board members and some town staff are participating by WebEx. The public can watch this meeting on Comcast Channel 5, Frontier TV Channel 6098, or on www.whctv.org. Because of the virtual format, there are some special rules and procedures that I need to cover before I begin. First, I ask all participants to please mute your devices when you are not speaking. If you wish to be recognized, excuse me, a frog in my throat, please raise your hand and I will call on you. If you are participating via audio only, or I do not call on you and the debate is ending, then please unmute your phone and let me know so that I can recognize you. Second, pursuant to Executive Order 78, all speakers must state their name and title each time they speak. Third, because of the difficulty in tallying voice votes on a video conference, I will require the votes be taken by roll. Now call the roll. Alphabetically this time. James Healey.
Here.
Robert Levine, he's not here. He's our new member. Shelley Roseanne. Hearing nothing, not here. Teresa Szymanski.
Here.
Okay. The first order on our agenda is the minutes from our May 6th meeting. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes?
This is Terry Szymanski speaking, and I have to raise my hand.
I think that was part of the direction.
Okay.
So you're recognized.
Thank you, Bill. This is Terry Szymanski. I will move to accept the minutes of the May 6th, 2021 meeting.
Second, Jim?
I will second.
Okay, I think there is an error as to my vote on item 2. Wait a minute. My printed copy here is not good. What is the third item on there? Is that the...
That's Edward C. and Ann T. Roberts Foundation.
I will retract that comment. I thought, what happened to the Whiting Lane issue? Did we table that?
Nope, we voted in favor. That was personal property. We voted in favor. It says all, so.
Yeah, I think I voted against Whiting Lane. I think I was the only. You know what? My problem is I printed this out and it did not print clearly on one part. I just want to looking this up on my email. Bear with me for 1 second. Okay. I was on April 8th. Okay, not a problem. Let's take a vote on the minutes. All those in favor, well, I have to go through
I do,
the
yeah.
Jim
Aye.
and Terry?
I vote yes.
Okay, and I vote yes, so the minutes will be accepted unanimously. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the request for tax exempt status for personal tax exempt personal property of Aurora. That was last week. Where is the new?
No, yeah, that's
I'm sorry, what am I at together?
the Hartford Bridge Club, Bill.
Yes, for some reason. Okay. Hartford Bridge Club, personal property. Joe, maybe you can give us a quick little overview of this request?
Well, they're located at 19 Andover Street, which is an industrial area that's off Flatbush Avenue, and inside that industrial park over there, that's gated. They've been on our assessment rolls since 2009. It appears that they received a 501c3 certification from the Department of Treasury that became effective as of November 2020. And of course, they got a tax bill this July, and sent a letter into us citing their receipt of that status from the Department of Treasury. And at that point, staff pointed out that there are some additional things that they have to do on the municipal level to get protection from the local property taxes. So they filed their quadrennial with us. It's kind of interesting. I really haven't seen anything like this, although I've seen some social clubs. I guess this is a contract bridge club. They're part of the American Contract Bridge League. And I know that they cited 12-817 as the area that they're looking to shelter themselves on or from local taxes. They speak to some educational things that they do within the organization, and they also indicate that they are nonprofit. It appears that all of their revenue is generated from membership fees and apparently bridge contests that they have, the lion's share of their revenue. 75% of their income goes towards the payment of rent, and 24%, I'm sorry, for training, I take that back. 75% goes towards the training that's provided by these contract trainers to members and anyone who wants to learn about bridge. 24% of their revenue goes toward the payment of rent. And I think they cited 1% for some maintenance, that kind of a thing. I looked at their website. I don't have a lot of brochures, or they didn't provide any much on that account. But I looked at their website, and I don't know. It's unusual. I will say this, and only to draw a frame of reference. The Connecticut Association of Assessing Officers is a nonprofit association that is most Connecticut assessors are members of. They provide annual training. We spend some time up at UConn every year for continuing ed credits and blah, blah, blah. There's all kinds of educational things that they put on through the entire year. We have a 501c3. And I don't know if, I think there's a laptop or someplace that's hosted in Windsor, but I don't believe they're being taxed on that. And I'm not suggesting that we use that as a litmus test against the Hartford Bridge Club, but that's as much as I can tell you about them. Um, their last fiscal cycle, based upon their 990, all of the income was spent except for $127. So that money went towards the contract training and the rent fees. So no one receives any salaries based upon their 990 that I can see. That's all I can tell you about it. I would invite you. Yes.
Terry?
Thank you. This is Terry Szymanski speaking. Yeah, so I guess I have a bunch of thoughts about this, and at the end of all of my thinking, my question to myself is, how are they a charity? I'm sort of not seeing it, but the question I have for you, Joe, and you might or might not know the answer, somewhere in their documents, I didn't print them out, so I'm not going to be able to find it, but somewhere in their document, oh, no, I know it's from the IRS ruling letter. They're ruling them, yes, you are a 501c3. It says up in the intro to the letter that they were a 501c7, which is a social club, basically. So I don't know if you noticed that, but I also am wondering, since they were a 501c7, nothing has changed except they are a 501c7, and they are a corporation, so maybe they weren't a corporation. You have to be something like that to get a charitable designation from the IRS. But why were they not tax exempt when they were a 501c7, or did they just not apply for it?
Joe Davis speaking. Just for clarification, I have the letter in front of me from the Department of Treasury, and it says, "We're pleased to."
Look up in the
The upper right-hand corner.
yeah, the right-hand corner though.
I see the date, the employee number, the contact person telephone number, public charity status 509A2, and unless there's another document in here.
Okay, I might be referring to the wrong document. Let me see if I took a note on that.
It says public, excuse me, if I could help you. You're looking at the
I know what I'm looking at.
30th, 2021 letter from the Department of the Treasury, IRS, and it says public charity status 509A2.
That's different. That's the difference between a public charity and a private foundation. So you have to know what you are there too. It could be their application, and I hate to, it's like look at number 22 in their sales, their application to be sales tax, to be exempt. And I think the question is actually, did you get the sales tax exemption from the state? And they say, no, we're a 501c3 or something like that. And I think maybe it's in there that they say we were a 501c7.
So I think there may be, yes, I see that. There may be a timing issue here as well, because they said their determination letter was received in 2021, and I think that was in March of this year. So at the time of this application, which I believe is dated in July, they had not yet received, and I'm assuming here that they've applied for a sales tax exemption. So there may be.
Yeah, but my question really is about, they say themselves that they were a 501c7 before they were a 501c3, correct?
Right. No, the Department of Treasury says it. And
Okay, so it is in there.
Right.
It is in that IRS letter? Okay.
The first paragraph.
Okay, good. Then, no, is that where it is, that they say they were a 501c7?
We're pleased to tell,
Yeah, no.
oh, yes. In the second paragraph, it does say Organizations exempt under IRC section 501c3 are further classified as
No,
public
no, no,
charities.
no, look in their application at number
Oh, but
22.
I'm getting to that. Hold on.
Okay, sorry.
It says we determine you're a public charity under IRC section listed at the top of this letter.
Right,
Your exemption under IRC section 501c3 is effective as of the date listed at the top of this letter. You were exempt under section
there we go.
501c7 prior to this date. So it
There
did
we
say
go.
that. But here again, they have been on our assessment roll since 2009. And I'm not sure what prompted them to.
Right, so that's what I'm wondering, because 501c7 under the code is a tax exempt organization for federal purposes. So I didn't know if, and I couldn't find anything about whether a 501c7 can accept donations, like tax exempt donations or tax deductible donations. So that might be it. I thought you might know, but if you don't know, I'm just curious about why they changed and
Yeah.
why they didn't apply before. So anyway,
The only thing I could say is that if they've had some conversations with somebody else,
yeah,
some nonprofits, and they suggested that they have the 501c3, but we certainly haven't communicated that to them.
yeah.
That I'm aware.
I also think that I feel like a lot of people do this. My own theater group does this. It's like, well, we're a 501c3, but that doesn't make you exempt from property, real or personal, in the state of Connecticut. That doesn't make you that. And
That's right.
in 501c3, it doesn't make you a public charity or a private foundation, and there's some stuff that goes along with that. That's why they included that information. With the third, they said something like a third of our income is from gross receipts or something like that. So, but I feel like they're confusing. I feel like they're confusing being a 501c3 with being qualifying under 1281(7). And I don't see charity in there. I see a little bit of education, but I guess I'm struggling to find the charity. It sort of feels like the Masonic Temple people way back when. Yeah, we wrap gifts at Barnes and Noble once a year.
Jim, did you?
Anyway, I'm done talking for now.
Jim?
Thanks. This is James Healey. I just wanted to, Terry mentioned it at the end, my reading of it, and I think I saw it in their, their certificate of incorporation or what have you. They do talk about being an educational entity and, teaching people to play bridge. And, I don't know the first thing about bridge. I couldn't tell you anything about it. And I know it's not really our place to sort of evaluate the substance of it, but, knowing that it is a game that a lot of, especially retirees, like to play, if it is an organization that appears to put everything through the overhead to allow people to learn and play bridge, that I wondered if perhaps even if we can't find a charitable purpose or what have you, if there's enough of an educational one there that we think it comes within the statute. So I just offer that for the group's discussion or consideration.
Any other comments? No?
Well, just,
Terry?
sorry, thank you, Bill. Following up on that, you can, under 1281(7), have more than one purpose.
That's true. Yes.
And so, but you're right. They said charity very specifically, and then they went on to quote all their educational stuff, which people pay for, I believe. So it isn't like education, sort of. So anyway, I don't know. I was struggling a little bit with finding anything that would get them to the place of charity and or education, but.
Well, in their mission statement excuse me, Joe speaking. Sorry about that, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
To a point James made in their certificate of incorporation, in their mission, they, subsection A, they do cite providing an educational program to teach duplicate bridge. I've seen that term on a lot of stuff online. Offering classes, programs, educational materials, and mentoring in beginning, intermediate, and advanced duplicate bridge. There is a component of what they do that's educational. And if you ever get a chance to read the St. Joseph's versus the town of Windham, Connecticut, that ultimately was decided on by the Connecticut Supreme Court. And it really is a good read because it was dealing with these whole issues that we talk about periodically, and what constitutes, what makes someone tax exempt, and the idea that they have to show zero assets at the end of a calendar year, or the idea that they have some funds left over at the end of the calendar year, does not necessarily make them taxable. So you don't, in other words, you have to spend all your money in one calendar year in order to retain a tax exempt. And I think the justices did a good job. I'm not going to try to reiterate some of the things that they said in there, but I do, as we discuss this stuff, I do think about a lot of that. I just am bringing you what I have here. I think this is to a point that Teresa made. It is similar to what we saw with the
Masons.
the Masonic Temple.
Or, okay, Joe, refresh me on that one.
Well,
They
they
came
had
and visited, remember?
yeah, they had a lot of maneuvers that they brought to our attention. Every year they have a gift wrapping thing over here in Blueback Square.
Mhm.
They are teaching young boys how to become productive men, different things like that. But when you looked at all of their documents, it was a very minute part of the function of that social organization. And I think we ultimately decided not to grant the exemption.
Correct. Um,
Barry?
yes, thank you. And so, so the St. Joseph case, I think you're talking about, Joe, was because the statute says it has to be exclusively, right? It has to be exclusively your purpose, charitable, education, charitable, whatever. It has to be exclusive. And so the St. Joseph, I guess they were running a home for
A rehab
nuns or
facility.
something. And
Yes.
so, but they were also renting out a space, part of the space to
That's
something.
right. That's
Right.
right.
And so the Supreme Court said, well, no, you can't do that and call it charity. So I can't remember if they bifurcated it or if they just said, no way, Jose. In that discussion, I think you, Joe, might have pointed out a church up here at the corner of Fern and North Main that has a daycare in it, but they aren't charging them anything. But the daycare gives them a really big donation or something at the end of the year. Something like that. So, there's a way to get around it. But I guess I was thinking about too the exclusivity of your purpose, which, is charity. We think it's more education, but I don't know. I mean, I guess the only thing I see in there is a social club that's teaching people how to play bridge once in a while for a fee. That's kind of what I'm seeing. So I don't know. I think this one's a little bit squirrely.
Well, they have national competitions, and I read something in their document where there are some prizes that you can get if you're successful. Albeit these weren't big prizes. I think I saw one that was like $437. I don't want to get off track with this, but this is just some of the other details of their organization. So I guess the bottom line here is they've cited 1281.7. They clearly have an educational component to what they do. It is a social, if you look at their website, I mean, it's a place where people can get together. They can learn about, if you have an interest in this contract bridge. And there are refreshments there. That, it's a place where people can go and have a good time, I guess. And so I don't know, is that tax exempt? Well, when you look at their documents, they received a certification from the Department of Treasury, so the IRS recognizes them as being exempt on the federal tax level. They have nothing at this point in time that would that they can demonstrate that they're exempt from the state sales tax. Now they're looking for recognition from the municipality, and this is not a litmus test, because I think you guys got on me about that before. But I think we have an assessment on them of about $7,000, and of course that's not the basis, so it shouldn't be the basis of your decision.
Right.
They have like 40 tables, and I think they have, I forget how many chairs they have. They look like they're nice, comfortable chairs that you can sit around a small table when you're playing bridge and some other ancillary things that they have there. They do have some office equipment.
Well, my view, I guess, is that it's not exclusively an educational organization. There is some teaching of the game, and there's a lot of gamemanship in bridge, but they seem to emphasize in some of their other documents that it's a social club, and I think people are going there to play cards, and in the process they're learning by playing the game, that they're going to get better at it. But I'm feeling that it's not really an educational organization in the true sense, but that's just my feeling. Does anybody want to make a motion? Let's at least get the motion on the floor to accept the application for the tax exempt status. And raise your hand if Terry. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. This is Terry Szymanski speaking. I would like to make a motion to accept the application from the Hartford Bridge Club for tax exemption on their personal property.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second? Jim? Yes, Jim.
I second.
Okay, so the motion second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, so hearing none, we'll take the vote. Jim?
Nay.
Terry?
I vote no.
And I vote no. So the motion was not carried, and I guess, Joe, you're going to have to write the letter to the organization, telling them that the board has denied their application for tax exempt status.
Okay.
Okay. And Playhouse Theater Group, Inc. is the second item on our agenda. It's a request for tax exempt status for the motor vehicle they own.
Yes. There are actually two vehicles. In 2019, the Board of Assessors granted them a property tax exemption on the theater personal property. Their application did not indicate that they were looking for an exemption on motor vehicles, nor did they list any motor vehicles on their list. So I got a call from one of their staff earlier this year, I think after the property tax bills came out. And they were questioning why they had received a bill on these two vehicles. One of them is a Dodge Caravan and the other one is a Ford Freestyle. I think these are two vans of older vintage. I had a printout of them and I can't find it right now. I think one is a 2004 vehicle and for some reason, I think the other one is a 2003. Nevertheless, they are allowed under the statute to submit a supplemental request to have additional property included under the exemption. And I think probably the issue here will be, at least certainly for us, not so much for you, is that they will be looking for this to be retroactive. Now, their supplemental application was not filed until July of this year. And clearly on the front of the form, as part of the instructions, it indicates that the form must be filed with the assessor or board of assessors on or before November 1st. So that the form was not filed in 2020 to be considered for the 2020 grand list. So I would think, based upon the past decisions by the board, that this would be prospective, effective with the October 1st, 2021 grand list, should you decide to accept or approve their request.
Joe, who will make that decision if it's prospective or retrospective, retroactive or prospective?
I think it's been the board's past performance to be
Okay.
prospective on that. In fact, just at our last meeting, and I think it was Shelley who
Yeah, we,
kind of stood up on that, and she made a point that, we haven't been granting these things retroactively, that we've been doing it prospectively.
did they forget to put the values in there, or do you just notice there weren't any values and usually?
No, all they have to do is just give us a description of the property. You can see the form I sent you. They obviously took a lot of time to do that. It can barely.
I know.
So
There you go.
So anyways, I did go to the, let me just see, I think I may have it here because I know I printed out a copy of the current grand list assessments for each one of the vehicles. And I did that yesterday and I thought I had put it in this package here.
I don't think so.
Yes, okay. Yeah, I got it. So, there's a 2002 Dodge Caravan. We have an assessment on it of $2,290. And there's a 2004 Ford Freestyle. I believe that's also a van, and that has an assessment of $2,240. The aggregate tax bill for both of the vehicles is $195. I think the Playhouse on Park has just dropped the ball. We've had some experience with them over the years, and I don't know if it has something to do with continuity of volunteers and staff, where they have dropped the ball on a number of occasions. There was one year where they failed to file to renew their M3 application. And if you don't do that, then by statute, we remove the exemption status from you. And of course, then they went to the mayor and the town manager, and there was nothing we can do. They had to wait till the following year. So that happened twice with them over the years. So I just think one of the problem is with some of these nonprofits, it's just they just don't have the organization structure to stay on top of a lot of these things.
Plus, they changed hands not too long ago. They
Well,
changed owners. Remember they used to be Park Road Playhouse, and then the other
Oh.
Playhouse and Park, and they changed management a little bit in there too.
Yeah, Playhouse Theater Group Incorporated.
Yeah,
Well, my view would be that while it's tax exempt, it wouldn't be eligible until the list of coming up October 1st, 21. Is that correct, Joe?
That would be correct, Bill.
It's too late for the list of 20.
Unless you wanted to grant the exemption retroactively. That's within your purview.
Any thoughts on that? Anybody else?
The only caution I have for you on that is that the form does require, or there's a requirement for filing these forms that they have to be filed no later than November 1st. Now, if they are unable to file by that date, then there's a provision in the statute that will allow them an extension. I think it's up to 60 days. However, there's a $35 late filing fee that they have to pay to the municipality. In this particular case, that's a moot point because they just filed this document in July of this year.
And they did not ask for an extension.
But it would have been too late anyways. So
Yeah.
60 days, yeah.
For the extension to
Yeah.
begin.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Oh, Terry, I see you maybe want to say something. No?
yeah, I agree with you on the prospective position.
All right, do I hear a motion on this application?
So I have it, so I'll do a motion, but so what's the correct?
Please, Terry, state your name so that the
Yeah, thank
transcriber.
you, Bill. Yep, this is Terry Szymanski, and I have a question for you, Joe, before I make this motion.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were. So if we're going to make it prospective, what's the wording? So if I say I'm going to make a motion to approve Playhouse Theater Group's addition of the supplemental personal property declaration effective, what?
October 1st.
Just say the date,
2021.
okay.
Mhm.
2020, okay. All right, so I will make a motion to accept, to approve Playhouse Theater Group's supplemental personal property declaration for 2 motor vehicles effective October 2021.
Thank you. Is there a second, Jim?
This is James Healey. I second.
Okay. And is there any further discussion before we vote? Okay. Going to take the vote. Jim
Aye.
and Terry
I approve, in favor.
and William Prensky, I am in favor too. The application is approved prospectively for October 1st, for the list on October 1st, 2020. Joe, is there anything further for us?
First of all, I want to apologize. If you see me move my head down sometimes, I don't have an admin person now, so I'm taking these minutes and notes
Oh,
as you're talking. So,
Oh,
that's okay.
but I hear very well. So my apologies.
Okay. So I have a question. This is Terry Szymanski, and I have a question, Joe. And this is for you to probably take to our corporation counsel. So here's my question.
Mhm.
It's about this meeting and the quorum and voting and all of that stuff. And I have to tell you, I looked everywhere I could think of to find the answer. And I couldn't find it. So, so this board that we have is a town board, but when you look in the town, like, you go through all 1281 and it goes all the way down and it's a million things, but it talks about what we can do and how we can make these determinations, but there's nothing about order of this meeting. So I went back to the state statutes and I looked at everything I could find there. I went to the Office of Policy Management and looked there. I emailed a couple people and they were all like, you know, hey, you need to blah, blah, blah. So I can't find the answer. When you have a meeting like this, and we are a board, so we have 5 members, and, you know, typically a quorum is a majority, so I'm assuming that would be the case. So the majority is 3, so here we are, we have a quorum, so we can have a meeting. But what do you need to pass a vote? I'm asking, you know, whoever knows the answer to this. So most of the time on ordinary things, you need many times on ordinary things, you need a quorum of you need a majority of the quorum present and voting at a meeting. So in that case, if there are 3 of us, we would need only 2 people to decide these things, which seems like, that always seems a little funny to me. You know, like, what if we say no, 2 of us say no, and there goes, you know, that person's chance to get a tax exemption. What if there were 5 of us and, you know, 2 of us said no, but the other 3 said yes, then it would pass. So I'm wondering if 3 is a quorum, kind of an easy thing. Most people would say it probably is. But the voting is a different story. So do we need a quorum of the majority of the quorum or a majority of the membership to pass these things? That's really my whole question, and I don't know where else to look. Nobody that I contacted knew the answer.
Well, I will check with Gina Verano,
Yeah.
who is our corporation counsel.
Yep.
She has a wonderful little book up there that looks like a tiny Bible. I think they call it Robert's Rules of Order. So,
Well, but if we're going by Robert's rules, then that's fine. But I don't know where it says that. Like, I don't know where in the policies in the state of Connecticut or in our town it says that, or in the statute that it says that. And I just like to be.
We don't follow Robert's rules, though.
No, we don't really.
well, understood. I will bring that to her attention. I believe there's also some material in the town ordinance concerning boards and commissions.
There's not about that.
There's not about
that.
it.
Nope, I looked at all that stuff. There's this answer is not in there.
So you're looking for, to just circle back to make sure I have it right. You want to know, do we have to have a majority of the membership for a quorum?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, well, yes, that's the first
or-
answer, but that one's kind of easy.
Okay.
It's really about vote.
We don't have a question about 3 being sufficient for conducting business. 3 is a quorum out of the 5 members. The question seems to be, if you only have the minimum quorum of 3, what it constitutes a proper affirmative or, well, a proper vote out of those 3? Do you need all 3 to vote in favor?
I got you.
Do you need a majority of the membership or a majority of the quorum?
Gotcha.
That's the question. And it wouldn't just be for us. It would be for a much wider range of boards and committees that, I know there's not a statute in there just for us.
Now, you may have just walked into a room where you may not want to be, but the town clerk, in conjunction with the corporation council, are putting on some training for all boards and commissions in the town of West Hartford. I can get you those dates, time, and place. So
Okay.
if you wanted to avail yourself of that training, you can have access to it. I believe it will be virtual like we are now. There's really not a strong desire to have a lot of people in one place here at this given time, and especially now all of a sudden where this Delta variant and all these other things popping up. So the town is kind of paying close attention to that. So I will get that information to you, and I will email it to all of the members. So that is actually an excellent question, and I think probably an opportunity to address that in great detail.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
One last thing, and I'll let you go. I know we're running long here. Bill just mentioned Rob Levine, and there's some kind of clerical challenges that they had in the town clerk's office. Rob Levine is
Right.
actually should be on the Board of Assessment Appeals. And I called and lobbied Rob very hard. Rob used to be on the Board of Ed. And he finally acquiesced and agreed to help us out in March of 2022 on the Board of Assessment Appeals. And I think somebody dropped the ball in the clerk's office. So they're now trying to circle back with the council to see how can they fix this, because the council has already voted on it. So more to come on that, but technically Rob Levine wanted to be on the Board of Assessment Appeals, not the Board of Assessors.
And Matt LeBlanc has dropped off the board. So
That is correct. And Shelley Roseanne will be leaving in December. And Bill, is your term up in December?
it is.
Yeah, Bill, I got my eye on you. I see you making some moves in the other sector, but I won't talk about it right here. Online, we'll chat. We'll chat another time.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn for today?
Oh,
James Healey, so moved.
woo.
Thank you. Terry.
Hi, this is Terry Szymanski. I will second that motion.
Okay, motion. We don't need a vote on that. The meeting is adjourned, and thank you everybody for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care, all.
There in October.
All right, bye now.